Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host, and it is finally Friday. Yes, Friday, the 24th of January. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff to get into with you, some updates of stuff that's happened over the past 24 hours. And then we've also got an update on the list of mayoral candidates from the Jackson City Hall. We've got that today, an updated list. We're going to go over that with you. Who has qualified to run for political office here in Jackson so far? The deadline isn't until 5 o'clock on the 31st, but we do have an updated list for you. And we're also going to talk about something, well, quite frankly, that I never imagined having to talk about or have to read a story about, but we're going to talk about it. And it is a bill that has been proposed to essentially define when contraception begins. So we're going to get into that a little later in the show. Before we do all that, though, of course, let me thank you if you're watching on our website or on our mobile app. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, I appreciate you tuning in there. Let me know where you're watching from. And don't forget, at any point in time, you can always join in the conversation there. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, whatever about any of the news stories I bring to you, you can put those there in the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Again, that's the social streams that we have right now. But yeah, just let me know where you are tuning in from. Greatly appreciate that. Let's look at our Riverwalk camera right now before we jump into the news. Quite beautiful outside, very beautiful day, beautiful skies, rather, looking over the Mississippi River over there in Vicksburg. And let's take a look over downtown Jackson here, courtesy of our Jackson water cam. Again, beautiful skies, not a cloud in the sky. So it's going to be a great day for you to get outside and really try to absorb some of that vitamin D that I know I have been craving for a long time. I'm ready for the weather to be warmer, which we are going to go up in temperatures over the weekend. We'll discuss that later too. But I'm ready for a more permanent warming situation. So here we have Danielle tuning in. Hello, Danielle. Amy Jones from McGee. Hello, Amy. And then Sam Morrison watching from Florence. Thank you all for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Well, first, before we jump into all of the political news that we're going to get to in just a little bit, let's tell you about issue or situation that happened yesterday on I-55, where a woman she's now recovering after falling from a moving vehicle. So she told bystanders there that she had feared for her life when riding down I-55. This is between Daniel Lake Boulevard and Savannah Street in South Jackson. Down for you. So police are still investigating that particular claim. They say there were no cars near the woman when they arrived there on scene. So this happened during the evening rush hour last night, which really backed up traffic. 3 on Your Side did speak with a man who did stop to help the woman.
She was just moaning and she was hurt. She had talked to the first lady. We made contact with her mother. She was able to give the phone number for her mother and try to just keep her comfort until the first responders arrived on the scene.
So if you were in that area, if you saw anything, please contact Jackson Police Department and pass that information along to them to help them out with their investigation in this. And there was a house fire on Pecan Park Boulevard. I guess it depends on how you say it. But Pecan Park Boulevard, 3 on Your Side was the first there on the scene last night. Fire crews responded to the call about 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, the home here is a total loss. Thankfully, though, no one was injured. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And of course, we'll continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. And then not too far away from that, another another fire destroyed a tree cutting business in South Jackson. So the Jackson Fire Department says that this happened on Utica Avenue near Buchanan Street. If you can see here in our video, the smoke coming from the building when the crews arrived. Assistant Chief Patrick Armand says the 3,000 square foot building is unfortunately a total loss. Some vehicles and heavy equipment also had significant damage. But thankfully, just like in the last case, the last fire, no one was hurt in those two situations. And in Madison and Rankin County, may be seeing some changes to the local justice system. The counties are going to the state legislator to ask for funding for 6 new assistant district attorneys. Excuse me. To clear my throat. You know that when I was sick like a month and a half, 2 months ago, it's like I still have issues with that. It's not completely getting better, and I'm tired of it. But the counties are going to the state legislators. They're asking for funding for 6 new assistant district attorneys and 1 additional investigator. Mike Espy says more and more people move into these counties, they're also seeing an increased crime rate, which as a result has their court system being overwhelmed.
Our population is increasing, and the ratio between the NDA and the increased population is in jeopardy. So we need more help in Judicial District 20.
So as of right now, Madison County alone is asking for additional public defenders to even out representation on both sides of the court. We may soon see Rankin County making those moves as well. Also, as a reminder, Madison and Rankin County, they do share a court system. And dozens of residents packed out a Kursky Middle School last night to discuss a upcoming Lake Hyco project, which officials hope they can get started soon due to the economic impact that it could bring. So residents also discussed the changes that they would like to see regarding JPS operations. So the Lake Hyco project is a 640-acre human-made lake in central Jackson. It was originally built as a cooling reservoir, and now it is completely drained and it is awaiting redevelopment. So the lake and surrounding acres make up the 16th section of property allotted by the state government to JPS as a way to bring in revenue for the school district. Mayor Lumumba and one resident say that they're hopeful of what this project can do for Jackson and for the Jackson public school system.
Having this big, beautiful body of water that has been present in our community and not having access to that is something that is a drain on the community. And so we now have to look at a footprint of what takes place in that space now that community can benefit from, that community can enjoy.
To see that be revitalized and for open up to the community, I think that'll provide a lot of economic development, a lot of needed housing, beautiful homes, and I think that'll lift up the prosperity of the city of Jackson.
So residents also did an engaging map exercise to point out other changes that they would like to see throughout the city. And developers were invited to learn how you can participate in the RFP or request for proposal process, which is the next step to get this project hopefully started. And coming soon up in Madison County, they've been chosen to be televised across the nation on PBS. So Madison County supervisors recently approved paying PBS, or the Public Broadcasting System, $30,000 to make a commercial spotlighting Madison County and all that it has to offer. So the ad will be directed by Dennis Quaid and is expected to reach almost 80 million households across 50 states. One county administrator says that the county has a lot to gain through this investment.
If you're unfamiliar with it, PBS does not run commercials, but they will run a 54 or 55-minute show, leaving them 5-6 minutes between shows, at which point they would air educational videos. What the county gets out of this purchase of advertising is 3 things. First, you get that 3 to 5 minute spot on PBS that runs across all 50 states.
So Higginbotham goes on to say that the package includes a corporate documentary and an additional 1-minute commercial. The whole project is expected to take around 180 days to complete. So as soon as that is out there, we'll let you know so that you guys can be watching for it when you're, of course, not watching news here on WLBT or any of our programming on WLBT. So if we moving over to Vicksburg real quick, where there's a little girl in Vicksburg who is in need of a life-saving gift, and she is an adorable little girl. So here she is right here on your screen. Arena Amez. She was born at 29 weeks and was diagnosed with stage 4 chronic kidney disease. She also had a collapsed lung and a blood clot on her brain when she was born. Her identical twin passed away at birth. So this kindergartner is undergoing treatment at UMMC's Eli Manning Children's Clinic, and the active, friendly little girl needs a match for a kidney transplant. And her mother has posted a plea on social media looking for donors.
I wanted to get a word out, seeking everybody go see what somebody come forward and help us donate a kidney. I know it's not an easy process, but I just want the help for my baby to give her an extra 25 years to live.
So you can find out more information on this by going to WLBT.com if you would like to help that precious little girl. We're going to hear from our sponsor real quick, and then when we come back after that, we're going to look at the weather, and then we're going to start looking at the latest list of candidates for government office here in the city of Jackson, as well as Senate Bill 2319.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water, water for all the time.
Again, thank you, Jackson Water, for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Let's look at our forecast real quick, see what's going on outside, look at our temperatures currently out there. Of course, we know that we got beautiful blue skies. Temperatures are about the same as they were yesterday. We're sitting in the mid to upper 40s, even into the 50 degrees in Macomb, which is where it was really cold earlier this week with lots of snow on the ground, but now they have warmed back up to melt that snow. But we do have some beautiful skies and some decent temperatures out there. Our current radar, we're going to see where there's no rain in the forecast, and we're not expecting any tonight, but we are expecting some as we move into the weekend. So, hit the wrong button, not our temperatures. We want to know what the next 12 hours looks like. So we're going to be dropping down into the mid 30s overnight, but still going to have clear skies in the overnight hours. And then our 7-day forecast is what's going to be telling us about the rain. So you can see Sunday and Monday, we have a 60% chance of rain. Next Wednesday, we're jumping all the way back up to 68. There's going to be some rain chances in our forecast from Sunday on through the remainder of the week. But we do have a beautiful day in store for Saturday. So make sure you get outside and try to enjoy that as much as possible. So we talked with Ashby Foote yesterday here in Jackson. He is the city councilman that is going to be seeking re-election. He's over Ward 1, but this year, and he's going to be running as an independent. So Ward 1 Councilman Ashby Foote says that he is making the decision after running as a Republican in prior elections. The longtime councilman, he made it clear that he's not switching parties. He wants to free up his supporters and other Republicans to vote in the mayor's race. Next month, your next mayor in Jackson is likely going to be a candidate who wins the Democratic primary. Currently, there are no Republican candidates on the list for mayor, but the next mayor will likely win the Democratic primary, or it'll run to a potential runoff. And of course, you have to pick which party primary that you want to vote in. So he's running as an independent so that it frees up his constituents, or those who would vote for him. They can also vote in the Democratic primary or Democratic yes, Democratic primary if they want, so they can cast their vote for mayor. And if we look at our current list of who's running for what. Of course, this list was posted in Jackson City Hall today. Went and got a picture of it. Now I'm going to tell you who all we have running for Jackson mayor so far. Of course, these are all of the individuals who have been qualified through the Jackson City Hall. Through the correct process there. So we have Delano Funches, I'm sorry, James Hopkins, Lakeisha Cry, Albert Wilson, John Horn, Senator John Horn, Marcus Wallace, Ali Shamsuddin, Courtney Christopher Page, Tim Henderson, and then we have Zach Service and Rodney DePriest. Those two, the last two names, Zach Service and Rodney DePriest, are running as independent. The rest of the names that we called out to you, they are running as a Democrat. Then we move on to Ward 2 City Council. Montine or Tina Clay is running as a Democrat. She's the one who, she just got into that position when they had the special election after Angelique Lee resigned from Ward 2 from the city council role. And then running under the Republican ticket is Bethany Williams, sheriff for Ward 2. Next, we have Ward 3 and Ward 4. Kenneth Stokes is currently running unopposed for Ward 3, and Brian Grizel is currently running unopposed for Ward 4. Now, remember, they have a whole other week to get qualified and to get their names in. So these could change, but this is what we have as of today. Ward 5, we have Vernon Hartley planning to run against Charles Alexander. And for Ward 6, we have a pretty stacked race in Ward 6. Amon Thompson Sr., Lee Scott, Brad Davis, Lee Bernard, Antonio Porter, Jonathan Cottrell, George Monroe, and Ganelle LaPatrick Walker are all running for Ward 6. Ward 7, we have Kevin Parkinson, Corey Sanders, Janice Dolores Adams, and Quint Withers for 7. And then for the Democratic Executive Committee, David Blunt is running unopposed for that currently. So like I said, they still have a whole other week. They have until 5 o'clock on the 31st to get those qualifications and everything that they need to be properly qualified turned in. That is the deadline, 5 o'clock on the 31st. So we still have some time to add some names to this list. We will point out on the mayor's race, the current mayor, Mayor Lumumba, has not yet qualified to run for mayor, but yet he is saying that he is going to be running for mayor. Also, Kim Wade is saying that he will be running for mayor. He has announced that, but he has not yet been put on the qualified list. So we're still waiting on some additional names. We anticipate highly the addition of these at least 2 names going to the mayor's race and possibly more across all of the other councilmen or council people spots that are available, that are up for re-election. So we'll continue to follow it. And as soon as we know when these other names or more names, more people have been qualified, we will pass that information along to you. But now let's talk about the Mississippi politician who has filed Senate Bill 2319. And this bill is titled Contraception Begins at Erection Act. I really hope that I don't get kicked off of social media for saying these words. But this is what the bill has been titled. It's been entered as the Contraception Begins at Erection Act. So this was written by Senator Bradford Blackman, and this bill would make it unlawful for a person to, quote, discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. There's also fines involved, with the third fine resulting in a loss of $10,000 from the perpetrator. So in a statement to us here at WLBT, Blackman wrote, all across the country, especially here in Mississippi, the vast majority of bills relating to contraception and or abortion focus on the woman's role when men are 50% of the equation. So this bill highlights the fact and brings the man's role into the conversation. He says that people can get up in arms and call it absurd, but I can't say that that bothers me. So we're going to, let's just clarify some things in this bill bill that was proposed. So it does say make it unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material. Well, what is genetic material? Well, the medical definition of genetic material, like an example of it is DNA, which, I mean, that is in everything on the human body. That is in your saliva, that is in other things. It's everywhere. It's in your hair. It's your DNA, your genetic material. That's everything. So the ability, when it says to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo, well, if I spit on the ground, I'm obviously not discharging genetic material for that purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the wording here is not correct. It's just to say just genetic material. It should be more specific when it's calling that out. Then also says with the intent to fertilize an embryo. Well, a definition of an embryo is an unborn or unhatched offspring that is in the process of development. So an embryo has already been fertilized. He would need to say a egg or a zygote or something along those lines, but an embryo is already fertilized. So you can't it's unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. Well, because the words that are used here are maybe the wrong definition, then would that even be a bill that could be taken seriously? I don't know. I'm just bringing up and asking the questions here. And then the fines that are involved here. First fine, $1,000 for the first offense, $5,000 for the second offense, and $10,000 for the third offense. I am not quite sure how they would plan to watch out to see who the offenders are, or see if they didn't have to have the fines, because it does not state that in this bill. So what a lot of people are speculating, what we see being speculated on social media, is this is a bill that really is just meant to bring awareness and point back towards the abortion issues and the abortion debate here in the state of Mississippi, as it involves men and women and Mississippians, how it should not be just focused mainly on the women, but also on the men. It could have possibly have been done better. Yes. I mean, everything can always be done better, but this is the way that the senator chose to bring awareness to this and to highlight it. So should this bill pass, it will take effect on July the 1st of 2025. So, of course, now what does not apply is if says here, the discharge of genetic material, if it's donated or sold to a facility for the purpose of future procedures to fertilize an embryo. Again, an embryo is already fertilized egg. So you would not be selling it to fertilize an embryo, or if it's discharged with the use of a contraceptive or contraceptive method intended to prevent fertilization of an embryo. Again, an embryo is already fertilized. So there we go. That is Senate Bill 2319 that Senator Bradford Blackman has put into place. Senator Blackman has been in office here since 2023, when he took his mother's place. So we'll follow it. We will continue to follow it, and we'll let you know what happens. Looking here in the comments, Raven Dickerson says y'all going to go from 80% STD to 110 STD rate super quick. Raven also says, should that bill pass, there will be 80K more unwanted pregnancies. Victoria says, do we have safe haven baby boxes? We don't have any in our area, but we know there's some in Hattiesburg. There's some down on the coast, and I think there's some in North Mississippi. I believe I've seen something, Victoria, where someone is trying to get one of those safe haven baby boxes here in our area. But this is the bill. So you can go to our website, wlbt.com, and you can read the bill for yourself. It's not very long. I mean, I have it right here. It's barely 2 pages, one sentence on one page, really. But you can go and read it there. You can read the Senator Blackman's response to us, and make up your own mind on that, on what you think. And of course, we'll be following it. And if it should pass, we will let you guys know about it. So that's going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. Some of the things you'd never think that you're actually going to be talking about, and then you do. So here we go. But that's going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. I will be back on Monday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Get out there, get to enjoy some of the warmer weather, get to enjoy the sunshine. And then, of course, make sure you are tuned in 2:30 today for the First Alert Weather Team. They're going to give you an in-depth look at your forecast. We got those rain chances moving in, and they'll be able to give you the timing on that so you can make sure that you are exercising caution on a rainy day. So you guys have a great weekend. I will see you Monday. Bye.